Welcome back to the business of becoming.
That's you starting?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you like it?
It was fine.
Do you guys like it?
We're back.
Does everybody agree? Do we like it? Should I say, welcome back to the business of becoming with Stephanie? I don't know if I feel it. I feel like this is Power 96 Power Love Hour. Shout out to all the baby daddies. You know. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. It's something that everybody's talking about nowadays. And I really want to touch on the subject because as a leader, as a boss, you definitely deal with this syndrome. Without a doubt. There's no way you get around it. It's going to happen. And better that you learn how to deal with it before you get there, or at least if you're there or you never knew that you were there and you had it, that you can pick up these notes and hopefully you can avoid falling into that rabbit hole of, who am I? I suck. I don't belong here. Yada, 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 yada. Okay?
Remember, don't start talking until you look.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. Frankie. Always judging my ways. I pay this guy to judge me. The freak he is. You're an imposter. Acting like my manager.
Oh, gosh.
We all work for him. Anyways. All right. So imposter syndrome, everybody's going to say it's fear dressed up as self-awareness. But let's break it down in normal terms that normal people talk about, right? Imposter syndrome is that moment when you're like, am I really doing this? Do I really belong here? Is this promotion really given to me because I work good or that I'm good enough to be here? For me, imposter syndrome was me having to prove myself over and over and over again that I belonged in that space or I had a seat in the table. Like I had to prove it. And I felt like I was constantly like chipping away at having to be like, I belong here. And I have to prove it to people why I belong here, whether I have to drop how much money I made, how much, sales I did, how long I've worked here. And you're going to deal with it. You just have to overcome it and understand that it's dressed up as fear. And you got to do scary things. And you got to be afraid of what's next. So on my IG, I have, if you don't follow me, let your faith be greater than your fear. And I truly feel like I live that way. And I think this podcast is like the best way to put it too, in the terms of where you guys are watching me, right? Because this is a moment and this is a step of faith. I'm here and I'm going to share with you guys what I've been through. I'm going to share with you guys my insights. And I don't know if it's going to make a difference to someone. I hope it is. And I have faith it would be. But it's me overcoming a fear of being open and vulnerable and sharing with people the struggles that I have, because as a leader and as a CEO and as a boss or whatever you want to call it, as a mom, like you don't want to share your insecurities on a camera. I don't care who tells you that they feel comfortable looking at a camera. You don't want to. And you got to break through that and allow yourself to encounter these fears and learn to overcome them, because you can. Fear is just an emotion. And imposter syndrome, it's just fear dressed up as something else. I've dealt with imposter syndrome even when people used to give me compliments. Like, wow, that pitch was great. Or you did an awesome job. I remember this one. This one was a good one. You remember, Louis, when we went to Tally? Mm-hmm. So we went to Tallahassee and we were like signing claims and whatever. I think it was after Hurricane Michael. And one of the guys had a client that he couldn't close. He just couldn't. And he froze or whatever. And I showed up quickly. I, did my intro, did my thing, and I did a great job. I know I did a great job. And I didn't feel like I needed the applause or I didn't need anybody to give me credit for it. I knew I did a good job, and I know I connected with the client and we signed them, and they were with the firm. And afterward, they went on and started praising me like throughout the whole trip, and like they were like, yeah, Steph did this and Steph did that, and it started making me feel really uncomfortable. Low-key, I don't think I've ever told anybody this story. For you guys. And it started making me feel weird and uncomfortable, and I was like, why do I feel super awkward like about a compliment? And I just remember that I felt weird, and imposter syndrome wasn't a thing at that point, but it was just me feeling like insecure. And then I started doubting myself when I was getting a compliment, which didn't make any sense. But that's what it does. It's fear. It's just like, oh, you did a good job. Like, can you do it again? Can you redo that with the other client? Like, what if I didn't sign my next client? What if I wasn't as good? Like, I just started questioning my capabilities for no reason. Like, I was comfortable doing what I was doing, and I knew I was doing a good job, but I didn't need anybody to praise me. So what am I saying? Because I can go on forever. I'm saying that in order to overcome this imposter syndrome, you got to start taking credit. You got to start understanding that a compliment is good. That if people tell you, hey, you're doing a great job, be like, yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've been working hard. Not, oh, thank you. No, you don't got to be cocky. Cocky's good, but it's not always cute. And it doesn't help you be a good leader. I'll tell you that for sure. But hey, thanks. I've been working so hard at trying to like solidify my pitch. I'm glad you noticed. Thanks. Any other tips you got for me? Come on. Like, those are ways you can start understanding how to take a compliment. So even, I mean, whatever, I'm going to say it. I don't care if Frankie's going to use it or not, like, whatever.
May or may not cut it.
May or may not cut it. I started dropping weight. I started working my ass off. I started working out every single day for my mental health. But I really started working out, and I started finding such a passion in doing so. And when people started complimenting me and saying like, hey, oh, you're looking good. Like, my first reaction, mind you, I've been in church since I was 11. My first reaction was like, ay Dios. like, gotta cover myself up. But that was the truth. I was like, oh my Lord, men are noticing. Like, and I felt horrible. And it was such a weird place to be in because I didn't know how to take a compliment, even from girls that they were like, oh, you look good. I was like, no, I'm still chubby, or like, oh, I still have this like fat in between my arms. And like, you know, we can't all be perfect. Like, and I would just belittle myself so quickly and so quickly just try to find something wrong with me rather than learning how to take a compliment. I guess for girls, it might be a little different, right? Because sometimes we do think that we're mean girls if we take a compliment and we don't say anything nice back, or we don't say something bad about ourselves. It's like the girls that, you know, if you compliment like, hey, cute shoes, and you're like, yeah, I got them for $20. Like, you don't need to share that. Just, hey, thanks, I appreciate it. You know, I love them. You want the link? You don't need to drop how much money it was. Like, that's an insecurity thing. Even if they were $2,000, who cares? Someone just says that they like them. Start reframing your mind. Because it's okay to take compliments, and you got to learn to compliment yourself. You deserve it. You've worked hard. You know, whether it's in work, whether it's like you've worked your ass off for a promotion, or you've worked super hard at the gym and now you're starting to like notice it. Compliment yourself. You're doing a great job. And if no one's told you, you're doing a great job. And if you're a mama and your kids are not going to tell you, because my kids don't tell me all the time, you're doing a great job. It's okay. You don't need to be the best mom. You are the best mom for your kid. I went on a rant. Oops. So my first big aha moment of imposter syndrome was when I went to Tally and all that moment, but I didn't understand what imposter syndrome was. Another moment was when we did an event with the firm at the Miami Open. And this is an international event. It's huge. It's at the Hard Rock Stadium. And I just remember when we got the deal, like, I was like, are we really going to do this? Like, this little old firm? Like, and when we were able to start going and you know, having people actually show up and say, yeah, I'm going to be at your event, like from all over the nation, I was like, this is really happening. Like, this is creepy. This is crazy. Like, we're actually doing this. People are actually going to come to like talk with us and network with us. And it was a great event. But when I showed up, and I remember seeing that entire room filled with over 250 something people just there for an event that we hosted, that we probably promoted a month, what was it, like a month and a half? A month and a half, maybe two. I would give it 2 months. 2 months before, to bring that many people together, that was when I really felt like imposter. I was like, there's no way nobody's here just to like see me or to talk to us. Like, who are we? You know? And the struggle began there. But again, that's when I picked it up because I actually knew what the word meant. And I was able to start reframing myself and say, wait, hold up. We do belong here. You know, people do need to talk to us. Like, we are important. And it's not to gaslight anyone, or it's not to like get your head any bigger. It's just, you got to give credit to where credit's due. We've worked our asses off. And not just to promote an event, but we've worked our asses off for years to build the knowledge, the relationships, the networks, everything that we've gotten. And a lot of you have built up such, you guys have learned, you guys have gotten titles, you guys have learned trades, you guys have, really tried to perfect your craft. So if you're there, give yourself credit and start stepping into rooms that you don't think you belong in, because you might. You really might. So don't psych yourself out because you don't feel like you belong there. That's just fear. That's it. It's you being scared. So rip the Band-Aid off and understand that the worst thing that can happen is someone tell you no. And if you can learn how to deal with rejection, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're solid. That's sales 101. Deal with rejection. Learn how to deal with people closing the door in your face, and you'll be fine. That's it. And the best thing that can happen is that you can meet somebody who's going to make you your next $1 million. You can meet somebody who's going to be the person that's going to launch your career. You have no idea. All these influencers and all these people on social media, you guys are just posting stuff. And sometimes, hey, you guys get a DM that's going to change things just because you're putting yourself out there. Like, that's all it is. That's what this podcast is about. I'm hoping that like Celsius or brands or something like that. All this damn mic equipment. What is this? Sure. If you're watching right now, I sure hope that you promote me.
Promote Sony.
Sure. Oh, Sony and Shure. Oh, like Sonny and Cher. Sony and Shure. I hope that you hear me. This is me stepping out. Evidence versus emotions. So, again, there's proof in the pudding. You put the work in, you're going to see the value that you have, and you're going to notice because people are going to start noticing. So separate your emotions, separate what you think about yourself, and start looking at your proof. Start looking at your numbers. Start running your own data. Start running your own analytics, and you'll start seeing that you're actually good at what you do, and you actually deserve to be the leader, or you actually deserve that promotion. And it's okay to be proud and confident about that. And it's okay to talk about it. And it's okay to have subordinates and say, hey, I am your supervisor. Or, hey, I am the team lead today. Like, this is how we're going to do things. And once you take ownership of that, you're going to just see how people will learn to respect you for that. I've learned even in this last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. I don't journal. I wish I did. But I've been doing a lot of self-reflection. And I've been tailoring the things that I'm good at outside of just like normal things that I know I'm a mom, I know I'm a businesswoman, I know that I'm a leader, I know these things, right? But I'm like, I want to find out like and fine tune other characteristics about myself. One thing that I actually like finalized this week, funny enough, was I'm an executor. That sounds like I'm gonna kill somebody. But no, like I'm an executor, and I know that. Like, I am the person that makes decisions, and it's not because I'm a boss. I did this even before I owned this company. I was always running, and I was always the person that, hey, should we do this? I'm like, let me think about it. Let me run it back, and yeah, we're going to do it. This is what we're going to do. Ba, 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 ba. And I would execute people's plans. And even if I wasn't involved, like, I'd help put that in motion. And even more so now as a boss and as a leader and as whatever you want to call me, I've learned that that's such a big trait that I have. And I love that so much about myself. And this is, again, we're looping it back to imposter syndrome. And why is it important for you to self-reflect on the things that you're good at? Because then you're realizing that that's your evidence. That, hey, I am a great salesperson. I know how to relate to people. If that's something that you do, hone in on it. Like, say, I'm the best communicator. I'm the best person to be able to be relatable to. Like, I am the best. And even if you don't feel like the best that day, you are the best for you. There's people that are richer than me. There's people that are more successful than me. There's people that are better podcasters than me. But we're only here because I executed it anyway. So, I know that that's a great trait that I have. So it was one way for me to continue, and it is a way for me to continue overcoming imposter syndrome. You got to learn what you're good at. You got to hone into it. And you got to admire that about you and learn that that's the evidence compared to the emotions. Because there's days where I wake up when it's Shark Week and I'm like, ugh, the world sucks. I'm tired. I hate it. I want chocolate. I just want to sit down and watch the Bridget Jones. If you guys haven't watched it, it's really good. But whatever. Anyways, but you got to remind yourself on every single moment that you can. I'm a good leader. I'm a good executor. Whatever it is that you're good at, hone into it. Because as many cheerleaders as you're going to get in life, none of them can bring you down as fast as you can. I promise you that. I promise you. So I've given you guys a couple tools on how to overcome it, and how to overcome imposter syndrome. I also want to mention, outside of your daily affirmations of yourself and whatnot, and if you can journal, because that's great. And another thing is prayer, because that's who I am. That's me at my core. There's no one who knows you more than God, and you're created in his image, and he is pretty freaking awesome. So if there's anyone who's going to give you some sort of your identity or give you an idea of who you are and what you're good at, it's that. And I genuinely believe that if you can find yourself in a moment where you just surrender your talents, your gifts, and just say, hey, like, this is me, this is my plan, this is what I got going on, and really lean into that moment, I genuinely feel like you'll find peace and you'll be able to feel confident in saying, I'm a good this, that. Like, I genuinely believe that. That is a way that I overcome imposter syndrome all the time. Another great way to overcome imposter syndrome is turning doubt into drive. This was actually my favorite. And I feel like this is probably a struggle for a lot of people because you can find yourself being very prideful, or very arrogant. Some people can do that. But I loved, man, when people doubted me. Oh, it fueled me. Freaking fueled me. I loved it. I'm a little sister, so I'm like, I need to prove it. I need to prove that I know I can be here. So I'm like, you battle all this stuff. So if you have any doubt that you don't belong there, use it. Use the doubt to self-reflect. And if you say, you know what, I've done the classes, I've done this, I've put in the work, I go out and I have the best numbers, I bring in the most, leads, or I bring in, the most ROI for this firm, let that fuel you, baby. You did it. Hell yeah, you belong there. Yes, you have a seat at the table. It's okay to congratulate yourself, people. You do a good job. Life is fast, life is hard, it's crazy. So if you're working your ass off, pat yourself on the back. But if people have doubted you, and then you can really self-reflect and say, well, I can really do better because I've been slacking. Then use that, learn from it, and let that drive you so that you can defeat this imposter syndrome and say, hey, I put in the work now. I do belong here. And you can say it from a place of not just pride and arrogance, but say it from a place of actual leadership and showing that you put in the work and you're leading from example. That's the best place to put it from, when you lead from example and showing, hey, I did the work, I do belong here. You like it or not? To bring this to a close, before I forget, like and subscribe, because then Frankie's going to get mad. And then Shure and Sony ain't going to sponsor me. This episode is really for those who find themselves in a position where, you need to pick me up. And even if you feel like you are an imposter, even if you feel like you've put in the work, but you still don't know whether or not you belong there, remember, most of the time you are already there. You are already that person for somebody else. Before I even got on this call, I was actually telling the guys here, before I actually got here to do this podcast and be super animated and share with you guys all my favorite feelings, I had a tough conversation today and it sucked. And I really didn't feel like doing a podcast. I really didn't feel like that I had a place to say anything today. So I called my sister and I was like, hey, I don't want to look on camera like I suck because I feel like I suck. So can you tell me some good things about me? And it was really vulnerable and really cheesy because I'm not that girl, that looks for people to give her like a high five and a clap. But I needed it again. So Frankie's telling me to hurry up. I needed it again because the point is, this episode was that for me, that phone call for me. So she shared with me things that I didn't even know she saw me in that way, or that my nieces saw me in that way, or that my family saw me in that way. And even little characteristics like, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you do this, you do that, like all these things. I was like, man, like, you know me. Like, you know me. And I hope this episode you were able to hear some things that you can find yourself in, and then you can learn to find your footing and be the better version of yourself, because all we're doing is becoming better people, and we're becoming the best versions of ourselves in this crazy ass world. So I hope this works. I hope you find what you're looking for in this episode. Shoot me in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to hear. And I'm here. I'm ready for it. See ya. See ya on the next one. Bye.